Fellowshippers, what up? Welcome to the Fellowship Hall with the Twins and Ralph. I am Ralph, a.k.a. Big Ham, a.k.a. the smartest one in the room. And I'm back with my fellas, twin number one, Keith, and twin number two, Kid. Fellas, say hello to the Fellowshippers.
What's up, Fellowshippers? Your boy Ken, a.k.a. the Odd Man Out. Thanks for tuning in with us today. What's up, Fellowshippers? It's your boy Keith, moderator. You know me, I know you. Let's go ahead and get started today. Today we're interviewing Season 5, actually the final season of Insecure, Episode 3. Let's go ahead and dive in, Big Ham. What did you think about this episode?
First of all, man, finally an episode that got my heart rate quickening.
Okay.
And let me give you my reactions. And all y'all single brothers, y'all gonna get mad at me, but this has to be said. Because I saw the riff-raff and the talking online after the show and during the live tweet. Listen, Condola is not a victim.
Nope.
She brought this on herself, all right? Let's just go back in history. Let's go back in history.
It took two to tango. It took two to tango.
Yeah. But she brought it on herself, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's go back in history. Number one, Condola divorced her husband because she was not even ready for a baby.
Okay.
That was their biggest problem in their marriage. She wasn't ready for a baby, right?
Good point. That's the point.
Condola and Lawrence were together. Lawrence was serious about having a future with Condola, but Condola was not serious about Lawrence. Remember that? Remember the party at her house with all her friends? Mm-hmm. And then Lawrence kind of realized, oh, she ain't really serious about me.
Yep, that's a good point. So was that Condola or was that her friends insinuating it and she never did really correct them?
She felt like that they was talking about stuff that they had heard from her. That was the insinuation. Okay. They was talking about stuff they had heard from her that she had never communicated to Lawrence. Communication. That's a key thing about this that she seemed to struggle with. All right. Okay. Let me get this. Number two, she didn't want to get serious with Lawrence, but now you're right, Keith. It takes two to tango. This is not politically correct. This is just a pure unadulterated truth. It takes two to tango. But the woman is the one that carries the baby. Her body changes. She goes through all that. The onus of contraception, the responsibility of it, is with the woman at most of the time, right?
I can't say that. I can't say that.
You have to say that because, listen, don't you know how many men walking this earth don't even know anything about an ovulation schedule?
Okay. Still.
You know, how many, they don't really understand it. And then a man to get a woman pregnant and live she's going to go through all the changes, right? Both of them are responsible. But she sat down and got pregnant by a dude that she didn't even want to have a future with. And then let me tell you this. This got mixed signals. She told that man that he didn't even have to be involved. There were no expectations from her.
She did say that.
She did say that. And she shouldn't have said that. That's number one. Number two.
That's a lot of number one.
Number two, number three. Listen. I understood with that split screen where Lawrence was living it up and she was being a full-time parent. I understand that was triggering. But still at the same time, you got to remember, that lady was a grown woman and she had a baby with somebody that she didn't really want to have a future with. Not only that, she has been a selfish parent. Lawrence mentioned that she was leaving him out of the doctor's appointments. He said he was tired of that.
Yeah.
That woman water broke. He went into labor.
Had the baby.
Didn't call him, didn't tell him nothing. Had that baby. His firstborn son, he wasn't there for. Named that dude's son without even any input from him and named him Elijah Messiah. Let me tell you something, bro. I was raised to respect the woman you date with, never to call her out her name, never to curse and talk bad, disrespectful to her. Let me tell you something.
Then don't.
They came in there, she had named my son Mustafa. Listen, Mustafa first or middle name without conferring with me, I would have cursed so many times in that building. I would say every curse word in the book and invented some. That was just disrespectful, wrong, bro. And somebody said, well, she already had a support system. She didn't have a baby with a support system. She wasn't pregnant by the support system. She was not pregnant by her sister who getting on my nerves. She need to shut up. And she was not pregnant by her mama. That's number one. And now
it was cool.
The mama was cool.
Yeah, the mama
was cool. Leah Rashawn, legendary actress in our community. God bless her. The mama was cool, but she should have called that dude and let him know so he could have been there for the labor for the delivery son. And she should have consulted with a man who having his firstborn son about what he wanted to name the child. That was disrespectful. Then she said, there was two things she said, man, in this show. She said 2 different times. Give me my baby.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't push away a dude that's trying. There's too many dudes, especially in our community, and they have babies that have gave one single care about them. And you got a dude who's trying. He's traveling anytime he can get.
Flying back and forth.
Flying back and forth. Even though one time he did get on that plane one time and he should have got his butt on that plane.
Of course.
He was dead wrong for that.
Exactly. Dead wrong.
But he's getting on there. He's trying to be a father. He's trying to be present in life. And she's stiff arming him just because this ain't necessarily what she signed up for when she signed up for it. And that's wrong. That dude came there. They had plans for him to take their baby overnight. And even though the baby was crying, he's the father. She should have let him take him. And it was obvious she needed a break.
Yep. Right. And he confirmed it before coming. He confirmed that he was still on to take the baby.
Right. She was dead wrong for that. Give me my baby. She did it twice. She did it at the party, and she did it then. He got upset and disrespected her, but I can understand where he was coming from, man, because I think she was dead wrong on that. I think she was dead wrong. Being a selfish parent, you should never push away a father that's willing to be there, a father that's willing to help, willing to be present. Now, I know you told me you were pregnant. He took a job and moved away. I know all that happened, but he's still flying back and forth. He's trying to be active in the baby's life. I'm sure with the type of guy Lawrence is, he's sending money, he's sending funds. She needs to be able to learn how to co-parent properly, and she's not doing it. And everybody's feeling sorry for her, but this predicament, she chose to have a baby by a dude she didn't really know and didn't really want to be with. And she told him that she had no expectations, but when the table turned, she tried to throw expectations on him that he's trying to live up to. But if it ain't 100% how she wants it, when she wants it, how she wants it, she's being selfish with it. And that really just rubbed me the wrong way with how she's treating this. And it rubbed me the wrong way online that a lot of people were defending her actions just because they can empathize with her, because a lot of ladies, probably single mothers, have been in this situation where they have to be everything and they ain't necessarily had to help. She got a dude that's trying to help, and she's pushing them away, and it's not right, man. And I think she was dead wrong for it. And this definitely was the best episode of the season. I was fired up about it.
Definitely was entertaining.
It was entertaining. The acting was, man. Jay Ellis and that lady that played Condola, they acted really well, man. I'm talking about all the way around 360. She plays on another show that I watch called 20s, and she more comedic on there, and she's a really good actress. Okay. But man, they did a good job acting that scene out. It's been the best episode so far, not just because we Lawrence Hive or whatever, but it was an episode that had some action in it. It was deep.
It was deep.
It was deep. Good. You know, it was real life situation.
It was realistic. That was the thing.
It was realistic. It was deep. It was a lot of things there that you can unpack and talk about. And I thought it was a great episode, but I think Lawrence needs, Lawrence, I was really upset when he didn't get on that plane just because he was feeling a little tired. I was really upset when he do that. But other than that, I think he's doing the best that he can. And he's, unfortunately, benefiting from not being the primary caregiver. But, when he's there, he's trying to be there. I don't think she should be giving him a stiff arm or trying to be Barry Sanders when it comes to him watching his baby, spending time with his baby, and being overbearing when he's trying to co-parent his baby. I think they both need to communicate better, and they need to have a better co-parenting strategy.
All right, Ken, chime in. Big Ham said a lot, so
he did say a lot.
Respond to him or give us your reaction, or both.
Yeah, so my reaction was it was a decent show. I mean, not. It wasn't bad. It was decent though. And the reason I say it was decent because really nothing profound happened. Like I said, it was realistic. It's a realistic view of life where you have a lot of situations where a guy and a girl make a baby.
Hang on,
and then either A, he wants to be part of it, or maybe sometimes he doesn't want to be a part of life, and she wishes for it. or there are cases where he does want to be, and she has some kind of resentment towards him. I don't know because they weren't together or what. But in this case, it was a little bit different because it was like, although Big Ham made a lot of comments about Condola, and I do agree with a lot of what he said. I don't know if Lawrence is as innocent as you might make him, as he sounded via Big Ham's review. And the reason I said it is because they showed us one time where he chose not to get on the plane and go, and Big Ham was chastising him for that, justifiably so. But also when they were arguing, she made a comment that you counsel on me, and sometimes you don't let me know, but a few hours before. So to me, that implied that maybe it's happened more than just that one time, and the show is not highlighting everything. And so, but yeah, it was like you always got either that friend or that sister that's always throwing shade at the dude. A lot of times, unjustifiably. But in the case of Lawrence, I don't know. I think he still bought some of the stuff on himself because she made a comment that he was like, keep me posted, during her pregnancy or something like that, which is not really taking an active role in it. So I don't know how to explain it. I wanna be big in Lawrence's corner. And while I do disagree with a lot of stuff Condola was doing, I think Lawrence showed some of the blame also. And so as I'm watching this episode, though, I'm like, okay, they making her be overly dramatic and overly possessive of the baby. It is what it is. He's trying to be in the baby's life now, but was he there when she was going to her prenatal appointments and visits and stuff like that? So I can see how she felt like she shouldered most of the responsibility, so the baby is hers. But I was like, okay, well, at least
two things about that. Number one, I think Lawrence, when he was talking to Chad about missing the doctor's appointment, I think he implied that he wanted to be there, and she didn't communicate that.
He wouldn't let him know about it.
She let him know. Also, when he came to the pediatric appointment after for the 1 week, he also told her as well that he wanted to make all the appointments.
And she went, well. To me, those were the post-birth appointments, though, Big Ham, that he was talking about. I wasn't so sure that he was trying to be there doing the prenatal stuff.
It was the first one they had coming up. So I don't think he was talking about that. He had been talking about the one before.
Because plus the night he stayed with Chad, she just had the baby.
Yeah, and the second thing, Ken, so what you said about, she said, keep me posted. She volunteered and told that dude she had no expectations.
True.
Yeah, but that don't mean
what I'm saying. Now they have a lack of communication there. He should have said, no, I want to be at all the doctor's appointments. I want to be there. But I don't know if he said that. He just said, keep me posted. They're probably the most responsible thing to do. But you can't say there's no expectations and then turn around and try to demonize him for saying keep me posted.
But to be fair though, Ralph, But to be fair though, Ralph, she's saying, you have no responsibility or you don't, whatever you said she said. This is before she even felt the baby move or kick or anything. This is still I know I'm pregnant, but I don't feel pregnant mindset. And then once your body starts going through those changes and stuff, I think she's entitled to feel different. But what I was gonna say is the major point to me that disappointed me was I was like, okay, they making Lawrence kind of push back and be a little harsh. That's fine. He probably should fall back, but he's somewhat justified because of the way she's treating him. But then when he said you ruined my life, I thought that was just a bad spot. I thought they were just painting him into a negative light just to do so. Because how was his life?
Yeah, he was wrong saying that.
How was his life ruined by her, giving birth? Was he saying that he wanted her to abort the baby? He didn't want to be a father, or was he saying she'd ruined his life by not letting him be a part of the child's life? And obviously, I think it was the former.
Yeah,
but nevertheless,
either one technically would have been okay.
He lost Issa because of this.
True. Lost
Issa, who cares to me?
He care, man. He love that woman. He been
that woman. He need to let him love with her. He's a
and this time he been woman 7 years off and on, man.
Man, she cheated on him, man. He gotta let it go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she cheated on him, but they worked through it.
They worked past that, bro.
And got to he worked past her cheating on him, and then she couldn't get past him having a baby with another woman while they was broken up. So obviously he trying to give way more than she is. He need to let that go, man. I'm sorry. That's just me. But I thought it was a decent episode, like I said. I mean, you can be mad, man. I'm just keeping it real. I mean, I'm just keeping it real, man. Y'all have y'all love for Issa, and that's fine. But y'all can't blame me that I don't have that kind of love that y'all have for Issa,
No,
man.
no, no.
Issa wrong, man.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying about you not having that love for Issa. I'm saying you have to understand how he felt about him having a relationship with somebody he been with for that long, and
Exactly.
feeling like she only broke up with him because of this current situation. That's why he. That's why he was saying he was dead wrong for saying it. But I'm
Of
feeling
course he
like
was
that's where he was
wrong.
coming from.
If she can be emotional in this
Silly.
episode, so can he.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. And I'm sorry, man, but I just explained my point, man. She cheated
Understood.
on him. He went back to her, and then she can't get over him having a baby with another woman while they were broken up. That's the
Yeah.
problem I got. She's selfish, and he's
Agreed.
still pining over her, man. To me, that's a weak move by Lauren. Yes,
All right, he's in love
pining
with her.
over Issa is a weak move, man.
Listen. I'm not trying to bash Lawrence because Lawrence is my guy too, and I consider Lawrence 90% in the right with the whole Issa situation. But you have to remember,
90%.
90% right. You have to, well, basically 95%. You have to remember, Lawrence wasn't being a man with Issa. Lawrence was sitting around the house not looking for a job, and Issa was
Two
still trying to
years.
better herself. So don't get me wrong, Issa was 100% at fault for cheating. No questions, no
Yeah.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. But Lawrence wasn't just like the perfect mate in that time either, you know. So it is what it is. But nevertheless, let's go back to season 5, episode 3. Um, Good reaction by both of you. Big Ham talked a lot and said a lot, and it was understandable. Kendrick didn't talk as long, but he made some valid
Never
points and
do.
agreed with Big Ham. But I'll be the first one to give this caveat. You know, we're three dudes talking about this show, and you know, we don't necessarily we don't have a female perspective from our mindset. You know, we're just talking about our reaction to the show. With that being said, I have to agree with the fellas. I felt like Condola was a lot at fault in this episode. And listen, women out there, black, white, whatever, fellowship in women, she can be emotional. It doesn't make it right. You can empathize with her. It doesn't make it right what she was doing. I'm just saying the way she treated him, she was dead wrong. You can't say you need to support the baby or you aren't there for the baby, and then as soon as you get an attitude, it's my baby. See, that's the type of stuff that'll push a man away. That's the type of stuff that got him frustrated a few times in this episode, you know, a few times, and it was understandable. But like Ken said, you can't say that you ruined my life type stuff. Even though they are together, you know, you are bound together now by this new bundle of joy, Isaiah Mustafa. But
Mufasa.
all right,
Lion
Chad.
King, man. That's my
Elijah.
thing. That's my
Elijah, bro.
jam.
Elijah,
Elijah
whatever.
Mustafa.
Elijah, whatever. Elijah, bro. I
No,
got it.
well, not whatever, man. That's the dude's son. That's his name.
Okay.
Ja.
Back to my reaction. She was wrong a lot. She was wrong a lot in this episode,
She
and
was.
Both of
and
them were.
she had her peanut gallery, although it was a peanut gallery of one, egging her on, and that was also wrong. And that's what you gotta realize. Like that's the type of stuff that happened in the community for real. You know, somebody trying to do right, and somebody else is pushing you against them for no reason but just to be spiteful. So you know you gotta recognize some of the things that you see that's actually good in a person and an attempt from a person, and just don't throw it in their face that they weren't there today, even though they were there yesterday, or they weren't there today, but they're gonna try to be there tomorrow. You know, it was a lot of stuff going on, and Lawrence had some fault in him. I disagree to a degree with Big Ham as far as it's on the woman to protect themselves. I disagree. It should be equally on both of them because, like I said, it takes two to tango. If he didn't want a baby, he should have been wrapping up, and if she didn't want a baby, she should have been doing what she needed to do and making sure he was wrapping up. Either way, it is what it is. It happened. She made the decision to keep it, which is the decision I would agree with. And you know, that's why we got this drama that we have today. Yesterday, it was a heavy episode. It was an entertaining episode. It was a lot of stuff that you kind of could relate to some degree. It wasn't the insecure, funny, awkward stuff of Issa. You know, this was the real hardcore drama of a relationship where you aren't together and at odds with each other. I didn't necessarily know why the flight turbulence scared him or made him cry, but I guess that was a symbol in the show saying, you've been through something and it could be taken away, or this scared something into you that made you think about stuff.
He
But
realized what he was
still, you just
losing.
had a baby. You just had a baby. That
Mortality.
should be enough to change your life, also. And having a baby also makes you think about mortality in a sense, maybe a different sense, but still in a sense. So I thought it was a good episode. So, fellow sippers, make sure you go to the comments. Let us know. Let us know if you disagree with us big time or you agree with us, especially our female fellow sippers. If we are way off base from the male perspective, because that's all we have, let us know what the female perspective is, and let us know, what you thought about tonight's episode, Condola and Lawrence perspective.
Man, Condola's sister really just got on my nerves because she was treating Lawrence like he purposely dogged that girl out.
First day he met
And
him,
then
she
it's
met him.
and that is not what happened. That's not the situation at all.
Nope.
And she treated him, she called him an uncle like he's a deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us got a lot of uncles that love us, but we probably got no uncles giving us money every other month to make sure we got everything we need. You know what I
Some of
mean?
them,
We don't have
yeah.
uncles flying to see us every week, every other week. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So I think she was dead wrong, but she always have that, like you said, that peanut gallery of one.
Yeah.
That and Condola really need to shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
You
tell
know
the
what?
truth.
In my reaction, I missed one thing. So Condola named the baby without even thinking about Lawrence's input or Lawrence's wishes, and she gave him his last name. But that's almost like that's standard practice to give the last name of
She
the
getting that
father.
last name, make sure that child support hit.
Exactly. But the thing is, when Lawrence let the baby have a little bit of solid food, she flipped out. I don't think it was about any
Yeah,
kind of allergies or anything. She just wanted to be the one to do it, or she had decided on her
She had
own that she
decided
wanted to
what she
wait.
wanted to happen. Yeah.
right.
That was hypocritical. So that's a textbook example of being a hypocrite. That you would do something without thinking about the other person, and then the other person do something without thinking about you, and you throw it in their face like that's the worst thing in the world. But that goes back to
They
her saying it was her baby and not his baby.
right. They went and named their baby after some men in their
Grandma.
family.
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
and she sent that dude a text after the baby was already born. That was
Mm-hmm.
so tacky, bro.
It was tacky. It was tacky.
So tacky.
All
She
right,
should
Big
have
Ham.
she should have hit him up soon as that water broke and
Yep.
said, water broke, I'm headed to the hospital. We're gonna see what the doctor said. When the doctor says, yep, you're headed toward delivery, you're gonna deliver tonight or as soon as we can, she should have called him and let him know.
So I agree with you, Big Ham, but let's take a step back for 1 second outside of our male thinking and say, okay, as the mother, her water is breaking, so she's probably going through a lot of thoughts and somewhat panic. So she's trying to do what she's trying to do, and nobody knows Lauren, so nobody else really knows to reach out to Lauren. So I kind of see where maybe he didn't get the immediate text when everything immediately started, but once things calmed down, she did send something to him. Now, of course, she could have
I don't
said,
think so,
"Somebody take
bro.
Lawrence, somebody
She
take
had time.
Lawrence," but
She
I
had
don't.
time.
Yeah, bro, all three of us had wives that had babies that had their water broke, man. And I was
Keyword wives.
well, still, I wasn't when my wife water broke. I wasn't with her.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't right there when it broke. She was in the middle of Walmart when her water broke. Guess what she did?
She
Guess what
called
she
you.
did?
She called
Called
you.
me as soon as her water broke.
Exactly. Yeah. But this
Where
because
were
you're
you when
a
your
husband,
wife
though.
water broke? It-
I was at work one time, but we worked together at the time. So she was like, "Oh, my water broke," and I was like, "Let's bounce." But that's because that's our wives, man. That's our wives. So Lawrence and Condola aren't married. Lawrence lives in a whole different city. It's different, man. It's different.
Man, it's different that they're not together, but
Yes.
it's the same because that is the father of her baby.
Okay. So Big Ham, why you saying all this stuff? Let's think about our community. How many unwed mothers, right, go to the hospital and have the baby and the dad doesn't know about it? A lot.
It probably happens a lot, but not in this day and age. Probably not this day. Not in this microwave text message cell phone
I
day
give
and
you that.
age.
I give
It's
you that.
different. When we were born, with no cell phones, you
Mm.
had to call somebody at the house at their job. Either the line was busy or somebody had to get it. It's different. Nowadays, all you got to do is send a text
Yeah.
right then and there.
Yeah. No, I
Her
understand.
mother can send a text right then and there. Her sister can send a text right. They send a text right after the baby was born.
Yeah, it's probably a little vindictive. But anyway, Big Hand, let's go ahead to our next segment. Go ahead and kick off the MVP
Hey,
segment.
our next segment is the MVP of the show. And, we don't have a
The
love hate
episode.
event because we don't have a lot of characters. Like, within this episode, we had Lawrence, Condola, Condola's sister, Condola's mother, Chad. We don't really have enough to really do a solid love hate event. So what we gonna do?
Although I think we
Although
all hate
that
the sister.
episode could have been her sister,
Hey,
the
we
dating
hate the
one.
sister.
Yeah.
Hey, I got two hates. Condola and the sister.
Oh, you can't hate Condola.
You
No.
can't hate Condola, but she close.
Man,
Close. She honorable mention.
Condola is a professional woman. She's smart. She should be able to. I have high expectations for her, and I understand. I understand postpartum. I understand how all this stuff happens. You just look at her job. Like her job, she's in marketing. Communication is a key factor in her job, bro.
Yep, it is.
And she just purposely chooses not to communicate with the father of her child. I don't know. But anyway, this is our MVP session where we pick the person who we felt like stood out.
Let me restart there. Okay, let me stop the MVP. No, okay, let me start back the MVP. Okay, now we can go.
So this is our MVP section where we picked the person in the episode who we felt like stood out and was the most valuable person in this episode as far as, the points that they made as far as, what they went through in the show and what came out of the show. So this is our MVP segment.
All right, who wanna kick it off? Big Ham, you go ahead and kick it off. You usually don't kick it off after you introduce, so go ahead and kick it off this time.
So I didn't really have an MVP.
Ooh.
Okay. It was
Ham Compass.
It was tough because I thought their whole situation. I think the MVP was the messaging of there's a right way to bring children into this world and there's a wrong way. And we have gotten so comfortable in this society of doing it the wrong way.
Okay.
We have gotten too comfortable in this society of having the baby by any and everybody and not really thinking about it. All of us are Christian men. We believe you should have a child with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, you should have a child with someone that you expect that you can be with, someone that you can respect as a male or as a man or woman, and someone that you can trust to be a good parent to your child for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Someone that you know.
Yeah.
And I think the MVP of this episode was the messaging that even though we're in these modern times and all these modern times and everything's so liberal and everything, there is a right way to do it. And this way they did it. And is really telling that both of these are professional people, good jobs, with good earning power, and it's still messy.
Yeah.
So I think the MVP was the messaging of the proper way to bring children to this world, the proper way to co-parent, the proper way to parent in this episode. And that's what I think the MVP is. I don't think, I of course I already told you I thought I had odds with how Condola acted the episode. I don't think Lawrence was 100% correct either.
Yeah.
I thought the sister was just messy. So I mean, I don't think everybody showed well, but I think the messaging was very important in this episode. I think it's one that we all need to get. Everybody talk about people being old fashioned, but sometimes order is old fashioned is the right thing. You know what I mean? And so I think that was the message is the MVP of this episode for me.
Okay, good job. Ken, you want to go or shall I go?
You can go if you like.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and go. So Big Ham is absolutely correct. That's the message was truly the MVP of the show because it was probably one of the only things of the show that we could all, as as like a male and a female perspective, agree that should be the MVP. But I try to keep it real with the segment. So I do have an MVP of the show, and my MVP of the show was Derek. And the reason why I picked Derek was because he was only in there just a little bit, but he immediately recognized that Lawrence was kind of getting out of pocket, even though Lawrence was provoked. He immediately recognized Lawrence was getting out of pocket and immediately went to his friend and said, "Hey, come help me move the boxes." And Lawrence was like, "Hey, where are the boxes?" Now there are no boxes. But that was the right step. Like, he pulled him away and then he told him, "Hey, you just gotta make it work. You gotta figure out a way to make it work." And that was also a good message. I mean, Big Ham's message was, of course, more powerful throughout the show, but at that one point in time, that's what Lawrence needed. And I feel like, as a, as a race, as a people, as a country, as a nation, or whatever, sometimes you just got to listen to somebody who's not as deep in something that you are. Because sometimes a person on the outside looking in can actually still see what's going on and be able to pull you out and have you take a step back to realize that, okay, maybe I'm also in some kind of fault. Because no matter how wrong Condola was for provoking them, you can't be screaming at your baby's mother or father for that case. If the roles were reversed, you can't be screaming at somebody in public in front of a child, because that child, no matter how young, probably is going to pick up on that tension, and it's going to affect them. So Derek was my MVP for
That's
the
what Derek said too.
episode. Yeah. Also, well, just in case Ken has a MVP, I won't step on it, so I'll make my last comment afterwards. Ken, go ahead with your MVP.
Yeah, I guess I won't prolong it. Derek was also my MVP.
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
Derek pulled Lawrence aside and told him, "Hey man, you gotta chill."
Mhm.
And I feel like as a male, a lot of times you just gotta take the L. Sometimes, even when you're right, you
Yep.
just gotta take the L, man, because the woman sometimes can get emotional, and by you trying to prove your point, even when you are correct, you trying to prove your point, it's still not really helping the situation. It's just gonna make
Escalating
things
it.
worse. And
Exactly.
so a lot of times you gotta just be mature and take the L just to take it, just to get through the rest of the day and stuff like that. And that's basically, to me, I think that's what Derek was saying, man. Like, hey, you gotta let this go. You gotta be the bigger person. Just walk away, or it's no point in y'all having these outbursts in public
Yeah.
in front of people and
Exactly.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just let it go, man. Take the L, and that's why I gave Derek MVP. I think he was the one that stood out to me as a character that kind of added the most value to the episode, because he was the voice of reason to Lawrence.
Yeah. Like, the overall message, like Big Hand said, was clearly portrayed throughout the show, but Derek's actually voicing it out loud made him the MVP to me, in the sense, to calm Lawrence down. But what I was gonna say real quick, my honorable mention, which is kind of not really honorable mention, but my honorable mention, my honorable mention was Kelly's hard R on Pepper Pig. So I thought that was pretty funny, that hard R
Kelly kind of made me
Pepper
mad
Pig.
a little bit, man.
About the baby, talking about the kids.
Now with the energy she was approaching Lawrence with, when
She
Lawrence
was
kind of
approaching
tried to,
Lawrence kind of what's
when
kind of
Lawrence on the
harshly.
slick side tried to ask her kind of about Issa,
As
she was
about
like,
Issa, she's like, all of my friends
everybody
are.
around me is thriving.
Yeah,
Like,
starving.
first of
Yeah,
all, chill out with your energy. Your girl the one messed this up.
your girl broke up with him.
Right. Your girl
Yeah,
the one messed up. Don't come at him with that energy like he done did something wrong. You need to chill out.
yeah, but see, that's
Yeah.
a good friend though, right? Like, even though
That's a good friend.
we're
Yeah,
we're
I do
riding
the
with
same
Lawrence,
thing
right?
for you.
We're riding with Lawrence. We're riding with
Yeah,
Lawrence. So
I do the same thing for y'all. Like, I'll let y'all know y'all was
exactly.
wrong later on. Y'all let me know, but I'm gonna ride with y'all out of public.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She
Got
got to
to.
ride with, like, Kelly gonna tell Issa, you wrong. You did it. You cheated on him. You the one that broke up with him after y'all got back together and fell in love. And now he got this girl and he trying to take care of this baby. You can't be mad at that. But when Laura's around, what you want? So I understand that. All right, Big Ham, you had another segment you wanted to shout
I
out.
got a question, man. Discussion question for us, man. And I think it's kind of profound, and it's one that's probably central to the Lawrence and Condola problem. Is this?
Okay.
You're Lawrence. You're in Los Angeles. You have an opportunity to get a job in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You find out you have a baby on the way. Do you still go to San Francisco or do you stay in Los Angeles? Was Lawrence wrong to move to San Francisco after already finding out that he had a baby on the way? What do you think?
That is a great question, Big Ham. But I hate to do this, but I think I got two sets of answers for that. And I think, well, I don't necessarily have to give the answers, but I'll tell you about my decision. My decision would be based on me having a girlfriend or me having a woman that I got pregnant. And if I just have a woman that I got pregnant, then I'm probably going to San Francisco, especially if it's a better situation all around. If it's my girlfriend and she doesn't come with me, then I think I got a bigger decision or more of a conundrum to try to work through. Should I go or should I stay? But if that woman in this particular situation and I'm Lawrence and Issa's gone too, then I think I'm going to San Francisco not only for a
You're
fresh
forgetting
start
a
for the
you're
new
forgetting
job,
a
but
you're forgetting a very big valuable person who you should consider in this decision. You
the
mentioned
baby,
right.
of course. But I'm just saying, like, especially knowing what I know now is hard because Condola was like going mad with the way she was acting. So with me knowing that already, I'm like, yeah, I would probably want to be as far away from her as I can in this case, and then come back every chance I got to see the baby. But I mean, that's the truth. In this particular, I mean, it's a great question, but I still think the decision is going to be based on if it's my girlfriend or if it's my woman that I got pregnant. That now we don't have a real relationship. I'm probably going to go to San Francisco to try to better myself and still make a better life for the baby. But there's no reason for me to stay there. I'm not saying that in a wrong way, fellowshippers, because of course a baby would be a reason to stay. But I'm just saying this choice between the two, position that I would be in that I mentioned, I probably would do the same thing Lawrence did in this specific case. What do you think, Ken?
I think I would stay.
Okay.
Because whether she, whether she's my girlfriend or just a woman that I got pregnant, or a woman that I got pregnant with, I didn't necessarily get her pregnant. It was a choice we made together. I think I stay for the child because if I'm going to be a part of the child's life, I think I want to be close enough where, like, she made the point where so and so had to take her to urgent care, and he like, what happened? You didn't let me know. I think you want to be there for your child, regardless of the relationship with the mother. Now, she could be, dirty or whatever, and try to keep you away from the baby. But I think your focus has to be on the child, and you're gonna always be able to tell that baby, I was always around and there for you, even if your mother didn't want me around. And like if she's to the point where she is being dirty to you and stuff like that, you have to bring into the what Lawrence brought up to Condola when she kicked him out is that, hey, I'm going to be in my child's life if I had to take some other measures, which obviously means taking her to
Court.
court,
Yeah.
which got her so mad that she wanted to kick him out. But nevertheless, if a dude don't want to be a part of the baby life, a woman, not all, but women wouldn't have a problem taking you to court to get child support. So don't try to use child support to punish
To
me or
help both
whatever.
ways, man.
Right. Don't try to use child support to potentially punish me, but then don't want to give me visitation rights if I'm paying child support, or even if I'm not. I'm trying to get if I want visitation rights, you got to give them to me. So in that case, I think I stay to make sure I'm around my child and have the opportunity to be part of his or her life. And then if she tries to be, sorry to me, then I just got to go to the court, the legal system, like she would do to me.
Big
How
Ham, do
about
you
you,
want
Big Ham?
talk about your own question?
So in my case, it's really, y'all know me. Y'all know that I have lived in a lot of different places. I've been in the same house with my father. I have been on a whole entirely different continent away from my father. I've been in the same house with my mother, and over from my second semester, 8th grade year till I graduated high school, I was in the house with neither my biological mother or father was there. But at the same time, they were always present. You know, I saw my father multiple times a week. I saw my mother multiple times a week. They all came to every football game I ever played in high school. Most of my basketball games, a couple of my track meets, they were always there. I went to church, saw my mother every Sunday at church and a lot of Wednesdays at church. I saw my father throughout the week, many days. Before they bought me a car, when he would come take me home every day. So even though I've had the experience of being in the house with them and not being in the house with them, I think presence is important. And I think I would have stayed. Whether I was in a relationship with her or not, I would have stayed because I would want to be present, not just every other weekend. I want to have the opportunity to be present at any available time in their child's life. So I think while I don't fault Lawrence, I think there's a positive in him going to get a better job, a better earning potential that allows him to put money up for the baby, allows him to, support the baby financially even better. But I think presence may be even more important. And so I probably would have stuck around and kept my decent paying job in LA and looked for a better job in LA, but I would have probably stuck around and been closer to my child. And that's the decision I would have made.
Yeah, I mean, you both make great points, and that's just kind of what I thought about. You know, if I'm in two different positions, then maybe I could see myself making that other decision too. But yeah, what you guys said is absolutely right, and that's probably what most people should do, including Lawrence in this case. But I kind of understood why he did it. All right, fellowshippers, thank you for tuning in. Ken, go ahead and close it up.
Fellowshippers, thank you for tuning in with us today on the Fellowship Hall as we're reviewing Season 5, Episode 3 of Insecure. Go in and let us know what you thought about our reactions, our MVPs, as well as our critical discussion type question that Big Ham posed at the end. As always, you can follow us on Facebook or YouTube at the Fellowship Hall, or you can hit up Big Ham at Raphael Hammond on Facebook, or Hamdog22 at Instagram and Twitter. Thanks again for tuning in with us. Be blessed, fellowship.
Be blessed.